You're listening to the Tip In Maple Leafs podcast with your hosts, Chad and Dale.
Hey everybody, welcome to the Tip In Maple Leafs podcast, episode number 257. I'm Chad.
I'm Dale.
And we're going to be talking about the second place team in the Atlantic Division, the Toronto Maple Leafs, on this episode. I just want to say before we start, we do have a couple fan videos that we've gotten, and I thought we'd start playing them on this episode. So if you want to rant about this team, or you just want to rant about your life, or whatever it is that's going on, you just email the tipinpodcast@gmail.com, or you can send a direct message to Facebook or Instagram. You can find us there at the Tip In Maple Leafs podcast. And let us know what's going on, what you think of the team. You could take a video, take an audio, 1 minute. That's all. Doesn't matter. And we'll play it on the podcast, get them going.
Yeah, for sure. Shaddy. So here we go. Look, coming off a 3-1 loss to the Minnesota Wild, 2-1, whatever. They scored a late empty netter. A lot to break down here that, I don't know how far to take this. We'll get into it, okay? We'll get right into the Leafs here in a second. But just off the top, I thought we'd go quickly. 4 nations right around the corner. All 4 countries named their team captains today. The Swedes named Victor Hedman as their captain. Finland, Barkov. U.S., Austin Matthews. Canada, Sidney Crosby. Any surprises there? I guess the only real one would be McDavid instead of should it have been McDavid. Or you cool with Sid?
I'm 100% cool with Sid.
Okay. Yeah, no, me too. In 2026 at the Olympics, Connor McDavid will be the captain of that hockey team.
Yeah.
100%.
But I mean, if Sidney Crosby is on the team.
Yeah. Well, he'll be on that team in 2026.
Then he probably still should be the captain.
I don't think so. You got to pass the torch eventually.
I don't know. I don't know if you pass the torch in international play until you stop playing.
No, that'll be it for Sid. You can't have McDavid. No, you can't.
But let's say Sid was playing and he was hitting his prime at 27, 28, but Gretzky was still on the team. Are you like, sorry, Gretz? You got to give the captain to Sid. You'd probably be like, no, he's the captain.
When they were in the late 90s, when they had Patrick Waugh and Ned and whatever, and they lost to the Czechs in the shootout, Gretzky was on the team. Lindros, but Gretzky wasn't the captain of that team, I don't think. Wasn't it Lindros?
Oh, that's a great question.
I don't think
I'm going to look that up. I know he didn't shoot in the shootout.
Okay, anyway.
1998, right?
Yeah, I don't think Gretzky was the captain of that team. Nanamo or whatever it was.
Yep.
I'm pretty sure it was Lindros. And Lindros was like right in his prime at that time. I might be wrong. Might not have been.
No, you are absolutely right.
Yeah.
The roster was selected by Bobby Clark, who was the general manager of the Philadelphia Flyers at the time.
Oh, well.
Too much controversy. Named Eric Lindros as the captain over longtime leaders such as Wayne Gretzky, Steve Yzerman, and Ray Bork.
That's very controversial, but it was Bobby Clark was the GM. It was his guy.
Yes.
So I don't know. I think in 2026.
Really, I was right. Any other GM probably would have made Gretzky the captain of that team.
Probably. Well, for sure. But, Gretzky was on his way out, and Sid will be on his way out. I can see a similar scenario taking place in 2026. We'll deal with that as it comes.
That's crazy that you remembered that.
Well, I just thought because Gretzky never he took a back seat in those Olympics.
I remember he took a back seat in those Olympics, but the fact that he wasn't the captain is kind of blows my mind. But anyway, with these 4 nations captains, I have no problem with.
Yeah, no, it makes sense. They're all their own team captains in the NHL. Nylander is wearing an A for the Swedes. What do you think of that?
Love it.
Yeah, sooner or later you might see him wearing an A with this team because really
it's just a letter. It's just a letter. What's the big deal?
Yeah. Well, what's just 3 games. What's the big deal? Surprised he didn't make that comment last night. But anyway, we'll go to the loss here. But I'm excited. So we'll cover the 4 nations tournament after Canada plays. The night after or the day after, we'll be on breaking down the Canadian team as they go through this little tourney here. Any predictions? What do you think? So all 4 of these teams very strong. Early predictions
Yeah.
on how this puppy plays out.
I mean, it's hard for me not to pick Canada, but honestly, a part of me feels like the States is going to take this tournament.
Dude, I don't even think on paper Canada's the best team. I know they have McDavid and Sid and McKinnon.
They're the deepest. Like they can roll 4 strong lines. Well, they can all roll 4 strong lines, but I think Canada has 4 stronger lines.
Yeah. I don't know. The Swedes, man. The Swedes look good to me. Like, I would not be surprised. And I'm probably like, I'm overlooking Finland. I know I am, but like, I really like the Swedes and I really like the States. I think it's gonna be wild, man. With Hellebuck.
So you're picking the Swedes and the States in the 4 Nations face-off final?
I think maybe not necessarily the final. Like, we'll see how, like, they could match up in like a semi or whatever, right? But like,
A what?
Could be a semi. You're almost there. You're not quite there, but you're almost there.
Semi. Right.
Yeah, semi. So like, if they're, if it's Canada, Finland, Sweden,
Exciting.
US, yeah, you're excited, but you're not quite there.
Can't get too excited because you're not there yet.
No. But yeah, I think Sweden, or like, would I be surprised if Canada was there? Obviously not.
No.
But
honestly, any 4 of these teams, like, no matter how the gold, it's not a gold medal game. No matter how the final ends up, won't really shock me.
What are they
unless Canada and the US are out?
Oh, that'll be wild.
That would be, because
worst case scenario,
one of those teams will be in the final.
Yeah, probably. I don't know. I'm leading Sweden. I'm leaning US, but I hope I'm wrong. I hope Canada gets it done, but we'll see what happens. What's the prize? What do they win? Is it money? Like, what's up for grabs?
No idea. Bragging rights?
A night out at Montreal in the bar at the Peelers, or what are we talking about here?
Night at La Cage. You get a nice meal with Tony at La Cage.
All expensive paid, like night on the town in Montreal. That's not a bad prize. That's not a bad prize. I'd take it. I'd take it for sure. All right. Anyway, anything else on that, or we'll just jump into it?
No, let's go to the Leafs.
Okay. So I'm not sure where to take this. Okay. Like, I don't know whether to go, like, how serious I should be worried, how concerned I should be, or if I should just be like, dog days, whatever. There's a lot of concerning things here, but like, is this too harsh of a statement to make right off the top? Like, how can you take this team seriously? Is that too harsh of a statement?
In what sense?
Look at them.
Like, do you mean as a serious contender?
Just on a nightly basis, they have gotten so far away from the team that looked like during the first 30 games of the season. They don't look, I know injuries, all that. They don't look anything like that right now. Nothing like that team. Completely different team. They look lost to me. They look lost. They look like they don't know what they're doing. Like, should we just go and play offense, or should we play harder defense? Like, they're floating in no man's land, and I don't like it. It's not a good sign. So like, how can you look at this team's play on the ice right now, the last sample size, whatever, 10 games since December, really, and be like, how can you take these guys seriously? Is that too far? I
think it's a little too far. I don't think they're playing horrible. They just are getting no scoring outside the big players.
I disagree with that. I don't think they're doing the necessary things needed to win hockey games. I don't think it's a fluke that they're not.
No, you're right. You're right. There is a lot of times I'm watching the games where I am screaming at the TV, just simple things like, go to the fucking net.
Yep.
Things like that. Like, stop. They come in over the blue line, they stop up, they look for the pass, they look for the pretty player, whatever. And I'm like, just fucking throw it at the net and everybody get a greasy goal. I know what you're saying. They're not doing, and which is really weird, because you think with Craig Berube coming in, by the time we got to February, that would just be engraved in their DNA.
Yeah, it's
to
not.
Just go to the net and get greasy goals. That's what St. Louis did to win the cup. I don't know.
It comes down to the type of players. Like, it's all about the DNA. Like, it's still the same guys. I know there's a different voice behind the bench, but it's still the same guys. And I know there's injuries and all that, but like, look, Riley on that first goal.
Oh,
okay. Like, I know, like,
we're picking him apart,
but it's
well deserved.
It's warranted, man. Riley on that first goal. I'm sitting on the couch watching that game last night, and I'm like, he loses a one-on-one puck battle. What, did he get any help? No, but I just can't believe how bad he's been. I can't believe it. Like $7.5 million for a guy who's probably going to get 30 points. I'm sorry.
Yes.
I'm sorry. Like it's not, and more on the defense later, but that is.
It's not even the point. It's not even the points. It's a defensive play too. Like
when you're making 7.5.
Oh yes, he's got to put up. They are paying him to put up more points than that.
Yes.
To be, I want to say an offensive defenseman, but they're also paying him to be a defensive defenseman too, like to be reliable in his own end, and he is not reliable in his own end.
Worst minus.
He's not reliable in the ozone. I don't know what he's doing out there. That play though, I mean he fucked up and didn't get the puck. That's on him. But if you watch that, all the guys standing around.
Yeah. Okay. Fair. It's not all on him, but that's just that was a blatant tie up your man, win a battle, and get the fucking puck out.
He's not winning battles.
He can't win a battle if his life depended on it.
He's not skating very well.
No,
I really don't understand it. That was like his bread and butter, was his ability to get off the jump and skate, and he doesn't have it this year.
There's no way he's still a young dude. There's no way the wheels.
He's 30.
Yeah, but he's always been such a good skater. There's no way the wheels have just fallen off for this guy. I don't know what's going on, man. I have no idea. But
what do they say? Sports science will tell you 27 is your peak.
Okay. But you still see guys with big time wheels well into their 30s. So
for sure, but at the same time, not everybody.
Not everybody.
We all age differently, my man.
Well, if this doesn't come back to some resemblance of what this guy used to look like, we got a big time problem here.
Yeah.
Big time fucking problem. Yeah. Do they ride it out this season? I get he's got a no trade clause, full no trade. He would have to be asked to move. They were talking on some of the shows the other day about obviously Vancouver's been better, but I'm sure you maybe heard some of the comments about would you trade Riley for Miller or vice versa? Actually, basically would Vancouver trade Miller for Riley? I don't think Miller wants to come to the Leafs. I think he wants to go. He's an American player. He probably wants to go play in New Jersey or upstate New York somewhere, whatever. Get out of the limelight. Not that New Jersey would be out of the limelight. He probably doesn't want to go back to Manhattan, whatever, but New Jersey would be a nice fit for JT Miller. That's exactly what that team needs. But going back to the Leafs, I don't think JT Miller would accept a trade to the Leafs.
No.
But would you not make that trade in 2 seconds? Riley gets to. You wouldn't even have to think about it, right?
Yeah, it'd be game over. I would make that trade. I mean, If JT Miller brings a type of player I think we need more of on the team. That's why we signed Domi to all this money, is because we thought we were getting that gritty sort of player that can pop in goals. What we didn't realize is that he can't score. So he's not really doing anything. JT Miller would do that plus put points up. And that's what you need, because in the playoffs,
oh my God,
we can't score.
He's a killer. He'll get in a fight and have a fucking hat trick the same night. JT Miller. That's the type of player he is. He leaves it.
We need more of that.
And he wants the fuck out of Vancouver 100%. He is done with that shit, but he's still going out there and giving them effort. He had a great game the other night, and Vancouver's won 3 in a row. So, and they're in a playoff spot now. They're back in a playoff spot, but he makes, I'm pretty sure, 6.5, and he's still got 4 years left on his deal. So what a price tag for a player of that caliber. He makes $1 million less than Morgan Riley. I don't know.
But he won't come to Toronto.
No,
so you're dreaming. You're dreaming.
Yeah, it's fantasy. I know it's fantasy. But Brandon Saad. What about that?
Yeah, I love it.
You think so?
I would pick him up in a heartbeat.
Not good enough for St. Louis, but bring him in here and he's going to help the Leafs.
Yep. I would tell him, I would just say to him, I'd be like, hey man, this is your chance. We need some scoring on the wing. Come on in, play your heart out for barely nothing. Put your name back up there. Next year, you can go get yourself a $3-4 million contract from some team.
So you think just a fresh start for him could be all he needs?
Could it be any worse than the 18 goals we've gotten from our bottom 6?
No. He'd be back with,
and I'm talking 6 plus the guys that play every other night.
He'd be back with Berube, who we won the cup with, I believe. Yeah. And how many cups has Saad won? He won a cup. He won 2 cups in Chicago, I think. I think he was on the Blues when they won the cup. So I think he's won 3 cups at least. So that
And
experience,
he can be signed, right? Like for league minimum.
they agreed to part ways, like
Yeah,
mutual.
they bought him out.
Yeah, break. They didn't even buy him out. They just agreed to breach the contract.
Oh,
Or
okay.
or that's not the right word, but they
Just
both
break the
agreed-
contract.
break the contract. So because
So
they were gonna send him to the minors, he's like, no, I'm not doing that. And so he was just like, fine, like, and
don't pay me.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay,
He's
so
like
he might
his-
be looking
his-
for. I was thinking if he got bought out, he wouldn't really care so much about the contract.
No,
But
he
honestly,
said, like,
could he be worse than Domi right now?
as long as they were willing to release him, he's like, let's break the contract, no problem.
Yeah, honestly, if you
don't see many guys do that. You don't
No,
see many
but
guys do that.
he's got some pride. He doesn't want to go to the minors, and he a guy like that. If you have a chip on your shoulder like that, and now you got something to prove, come to Toronto. You're in the spotlight. You build your name back. How many guys have come here, played well for half a season, and then got a big contract out of it?
Oh, it happens all the time.
Yeah,
It happens all the time.
I would be, if I was him, I'd be all over it. I'd be like, give me $800,000. I'll jump in your lineup right now, and I'll give you everything I got till the playoff, like till we're out of the playoffs.
Oh, I would do it in 2 seconds, just because depending on the dollar amount. Like, let's not go crazy here. If it's league minimum or something,
that's what I mean. It's got to be
yes,
cheap. You can't be like,
sure.
here's $5 million.
No. Like, if he's expecting 2 or 3 million, like, I'm out on that. But the one thing with Saad is that, like, you don't have to give up anything. You just sign him for cash. That's it. Like, so you don't have to give up any assets. There's one guy, but they're going to need more than that. But anyway, lose 3, win 3, lose 3. Don't love it. So, like, 1 goal a game in their last 3 games. Don't love that. Against Columbus, against Ottawa, and then against Minnesota. So they're not putting the puck in the net. 3 for 6 in their last 9. Not where you want to.
6 and 9.
Not where you want to be. Not where you want to be. 6 losses in their last 9 games.
Yeah.
Not where you want to be, unfortunately. Outscored.
That's like a 6-9 with the dude on top.
Outscored. That's not where you want to be.
It's the wrong way.
Outscored 23-7. Outscored 23-7 in that stretch of play, I believe. So not good.
Well, when Matthews and Marner and Nylander, when they're not scoring, the team's not scoring.
No.
And when they're scoring, they're just dummying teams.
No, there's nobody else to score. I've got some more stuff here, but do you want to play the one dude's video and then we'll come back and talk more?
Sure, yeah. Let's see here. Let's play. This is Josh from Grimsby, and he was talking about last night's game against the Minnesota Wild. Let's hear from Josh.
Hey, Chad, Dale. It's Josh from Grimsby here. I think tonight was an okay game. Matthews, Marner, and Nylander obviously didn't show up, but besides that, I think the physicality was all right. I feel like we could have played a lot better offensively. There's some grade A chances there, but they got to capitalize on those when they can. Nylander, post, Matthews had some pretty good chances there. But besides that, they just got to amp up the intensity. It's not ideal to be losing a game like this. Anyways, keep up the good work, guys. Love the podcast.
All right. Thanks, Josh, for sending that in. We appreciate it. I like that. Get the intensity up. Do you think that's what it is? Or is this, we got a deeper problem than intensity?
I agree partially with some things he said there. And then I completely disagree with like some other things he said there. Like a couple posts. Yeah, they hit a couple posts, but guess what? Perimeter fucking shots. So
yeah. But I think that's what he's saying about the intensity. Go to the net, get gritty, get into it.
That's just it. Did you see them generate any real quality scoring chances?
Not until Holmberg passed it to Nylander. And where was he? Right in front of the net.
So one play out of a 60-minute game. Yeah, a couple dings off the bar from just, wrist shots from outside, like perimeter play. Not going to the front of the net. Big time problem. Not going to the front of the net. Yeah, intensity, of course, it's a huge problem. And like, this is what Berube was in. Dog days, okay? Injuries, dog days, all these things, but they're fucking excuses. The guys that are playing the game are playing the game. You still got 3 of your top fucking guys out there. Go out and win a fucking game. Score more than 1 fucking goal. Like, yeah, intensity is a big problem.
Take a hit.
Problem.
Take a hit. Go to the net. Get one off your ass. Get a greasy goal.
look, like I'm just gonna break it down and then I'll hand it over to you here. Top guys can't score. Like just over the last lose 3, win 3, lose 3. Specifically, they'll lose 3, lose 3. Top guys can't score. They have no secondary scoring whatsoever. Absolutely zero, none.
I know. It's embarrassing how bad it is.
Ridiculous. Their back end is the worst blue line in the league at creating offense. Literally dead last out of 32 teams. They are last. So what are we talking about? What are we talking about here? So going back to my original statement, how can we take these guys seriously right now? You look at their play and how can you take it fucking seriously? Like, look at it. Is this a team that ramps it up when the spring comes? They need to be playing. Look at teams that are fighting for their lives for a wild card right now. Like
they're gaining on Toronto.
It's go mode now. Like, okay, you want it like it looks like they're all in vacation mode, just waiting because they know they're going to be on the beach next week. Half of these fucking guys, or more than half of them. Like they're, you know what I mean? Like they'll be in fucking Mal or wherever the fuck, somewhere far away, right? Like half these guys are probably cashed out already, just waiting for the Four Nations. So maybe when the Four Nations,
that's an excuse.
It's an excuse, but it's true. It's true.
Then okay. Then why are there other teams in the league that are like playing amazing and winning when they're going to be on the beach next week too?
We're talking about the Leafs here.
Why is that their thing?
Because the culture that has surrounded this team is losing. That's just what it is. Like it's hard for me to take them serious when I see like that was an absolute snooze fest. It really was.
Oh, it was terrible to watch.
The effort is not like, it pisses me off that like a high intensity coach was brought in. He hasn't used any bullets. Like the bullets better be coming soon because I'm getting real sick of this shit. Like,
yeah,
January, brutal month for this team. Absolutely brutal. Like I'm hoping that getting into February, things are going to like coming out of Four Nations. If they still look like this, we got a big time fucking problem here. Big time. Like I can't put my finger on it. Like if Tavares was in the lineup, if Knies was in the lineup, would they have won? Maybe, but they're still.
Those guys play differently. They play different than the other guys.
You're still getting nothing from your bottom guys, and your defense can't produce fucking points if the world was. You know what I mean? There's no chance of getting any offense from the back end. It's not happening. Right. I don't know. Right.
And then we have the power play, which is doing dick all.
Well, fuck. Does it even matter at this point? Go ahead.
Well, I'm going to play. No, I'm going to play. We have another one. This is Chris from Oshawa. We probably won't play the whole thing because he went on for a while.
How long is it?
It's like 2.5 minutes.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. Cut it when you want.
I'll cut it. But he's talking about the power play. And this is from a little while ago. So if he mentions a game or something from a while ago, but here it is, Chris from Oshawa.
Yeah, I don't know what you do with the power play. It's ridiculous. I can't believe how bad it is. I did say, like, at the beginning of the season, I said, like, by the halfway point, if it hasn't gotten any better, I would just fire Savard and bring up the guy who does the power play for the Marlies. He can't do worse, right? That's the way I look at it. I mean, it can't get any worse than what it is right now. Like this, and this is like a constant thing. The only guy to have actually gotten the power play to play like somewhat consistently was Spencer Carberry. Everybody else, like I remember when Manny Malhotra was in charge of the power play, that was during the COVID season, and that was about as bad as this is. And that was like, I remember it was like a running joke how bad the power play was, but the penalty kill was half decent. But we all know how the COVID season ended with us losing to Montreal.
Okay.
I don't like when we bring up that.
No, but here's where I'm kind of at now on the power play.
He does have a point though. Like we talked about this. This goes into last year. This power play's kind of been reeling. It was bad in the playoffs last year. It's been pretty bad all season.
Yeah.
Here's
where I'm at on the power play. I'm not sure it would make a difference who's coaching the power play. I don't think it would make a difference. It's the personnel, dude. If these guys can't fucking figure out on their own, you look at, okay, we got a game coming up on Saturday night against the Edmonton Oilers. I've watched a ton of Oilers games this year, more than any season past, like a ton of them.
Their power play is wicked.
I've got like 4 Oilers on my team in the hockey pool. So I watch a lot of the Oilers games, right? their power play is like they don't just stand still and hope like perimeter. What McDavid is twirling in and out of fucking everything. Like watch this, and then he'll just find Draisaitl back door, boom, or he'll find Nugent Hopkins back door. It's in the fucking net.
But what do you do if you don't have a McDavid?
We do have a guy that can do the exact same thing. Not the exact same thing, but pretty similar. Mitch Marner should be fucking loop-de-loop. Pat Quinn used to say loop-de-looping out there. I would be watching the Oilers power play and trying to copy it exactly what they do. Mitch is McDavid doing like, what, can't catch me. How great is Mitch with his puck on his stick? Try to get
one of the best in the league.
So like, fuck Mitch. I used to think Mitch at the point was the best play, but now I'm like, no. After watching the power play of the Edmonton Oilers for months, and I'm just like, they're never standing still. Like they've always got McDavid moving. He finds an open guy, or he'll just rip it himself because you can't fucking take it off him.
That's interesting.
I think Mitch should be just constantly moving. They confuse the other team. You don't know where he's going to go. You find Willie, you find Austin, or you bury it yourself. Or
is everybody else like? I haven't watched a whole lot of the Oilers power play, but is everybody else moving at the same time? Because like the thing I find about the Leafs is everybody's just standing, waiting to shoot. So when McDavid's going around, is Draisaitl rotating around the net, going from side to side, out front?
Yes. Well, he's kind of got his spot on the right boards there, and Nugent Hopkins is kind of on the other boards.
So they'd be like Matthews and Nylander.
But guess who's got his ass parked right in front of the net? Zach Hyman. So it's like, and then they've got Bouchard like at the point who's not afraid to shoot the puck. So whatever
can shoot the puck.
So whatever McDavid does, like if he can't find a guy open, he'll get open himself on the power play and he'll rip it. If the goalie saves it, Hyman's right there, boom, bang it in. Or McDavid will find Hopkins on the other side, Draisaitl, or like just I would be watching that power play, and the Leafs have a similar like makeup of personnel that like skilled like Edmonton. Marner does what McDavid does. You got Matthews over here. You got Willie over here. Nye's in front of the net, or JT, whoever, and just fucking, I don't know, man. Like, I can't wait for Saturday. It's going to be awesome. But like, you take a good look at Edmonton's power play on the weekend. It's ridiculous. It's ridiculous. Yeah. Anyway,
I like that. I like that. Anything, change it up. But I do like that thinking of like just copying someone else who's really good. Like take another team that has a great power play and be like, just do what they do. That's a good idea. If their power play is always a fucking lethal weapon, just copy it.
Like ultimately what I'm saying is I don't think it matters who's coaching it. I think it's the personnel on the ice. These guys should be able to figure it the fuck out. Quit being too cute.
Forget like you just said though, like do something different.
Oh yeah.
Why isn't Savard saying what you just said? Why isn't Savard coming in being like, all right, here's what we're going to do. Marner, you're going to loop around the ice over and over. Like, why isn't he trying that? Why isn't Savard looking around the league being like, Jesus, let's do what Edmonton does. Let's take a little bit of Washington's power play, a little bit of the Oilers power play and do this. Because it looks the exact same as from last year. This stupid drop pass, come in, set up, get in your spot, wait to shoot. I like your idea, man. I really like your idea.
Okay.
Just only do it like the best.
Well, fuck. That's what it's all about, is it not? Like,
no,
what works. Do what works. Clearly what they're doing has not worked, does not work, and will not work. It's not it's not rocket science here. So
pretty simple.
At least the team that like I'm talking about here was within one win of a fucking championship. So clearly pretty successful, I would say. Anyway. Only bright spot for me in that game against Minnesota was Joseph Woll. They would have got their asses kicked. I think Woll played well again. Kept them in the game, gave them a chance. But when they pulled Woll, the Leafs just kept trying to carry it over the fucking blue line, and the Wild wouldn't give them a fucking inch. I'm watching this game and they'd go back and they try it again. I'm like, dump it in and go get it. What are you doing? You're not going to fucking be able to beat them one-on-one at the blue line. Someone dump it in the fucking corner, old school, and go and fucking get it. It was driving me fucking nuts.
Yeah, you knew how it was going to end.
Me nuts. Oh, but like Mitch is trying to break through. Austin's trying to break through. Willie's trying to carry it through. Just somebody dump it fucking deep.
I know. They were just getting stood up at the blue line and giving the Wild a chance at the empty net. What can you do though, man? I mean, what can you do? We're not the coaches.
No.
They've got to get on this.
The last thing I have, Chad, and then you can go out on this, spend as much time as you want on it. But the last thing I have, I'll just give you my general thoughts, and you can take it from there, and we can wrap it from here. This team, without a doubt, desperately needs to add offense up
Yes.
front, and on the back end. So who that is, I don't know. We talked about Saad. That could help potentially as a depth player. I think they need more than that, but you look at this, we're headed right to first round playoff matchup where they're going to be winning or losing games 2-1, and they can't find an extra goal right now. So I think they need to add offensively up front and offensively on the back end. Last words to you, brother.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. I've been thinking about this for the past few weeks while we've been going through this dirty 6-9. You need to score. In the playoffs, the problem has never been that their defense sucks. They're not getting like outshot. They're not getting hemmed in. They're not getting killed. They can't fucking score. All they do is the other team shut down the big boys. Game over. And look at all the big goals that have been scored. Other than JT's game winner against Tampa, like our overtime winners have come from like Kerfoot, Nyes. Like it doesn't come from the big guys. So if you can add more of those guys, like I would take Brendan Saad. I would take a chance on almost anybody at this point to just hopefully when we get to those games, like you say, be able to give you that extra goal because we're not getting it right now.
No.
Anyway, I'd also like to say one thing.
Yep.
Didn't even mention this. Josh from Grimsby. Nice fucking sweater, bud.
Nice sweater, bud.
Got the tip-in sweater. Store's closed.
Currently no longer available, but maybe back next season. We'll see.
Yeah. But anyway, other than that, man, I got nothing. You?
No, that's it.
All right, for the Tip In Maple Leafs podcast, don't forget to follow us on social media at the Tip In Maple Leafs podcast on Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube. If you're on YouTube watching this right now, hit like, hit subscribe, hit the bell so you get notified, and leave a comment below. And again, if you want to rant about the team or anything to do with your life, just like the videos you saw here from Chris and Josh, you can email the tipinpodcast@gmail.com or email us at our Facebook and Instagram. You can just slide in our DMs like a dirty whore. Anyway, I'm Chad.
I'm Dale.
And we will.
Hey, Leafs going on a bit of a roadie. Maybe just what the doctor ordered.
I was going to say, they need this. They need this.
Or get out on the road, 4-game road trip to go into the Four Nations break. So we'll see. And it all starts on Saturday night in Edmonton. Can't wait for this hockey game. Edmonton's looking real good. I can't wait to see what Leafs team shows up. It should be very interesting. So we'll be back to break that all down before the end of the weekend. Thanks for watching, guys. Thanks for listening. Go Leafs, go. We'll catch you later. You're listening to the Tip In Maple Leafs podcast with your hosts, Chad and Dale.